A very good afternoon to you. I'm Tammy Ngobeni and this is your Daytime Update. Now, Wits University students want government to name the street where Mthokosizi Ntumba died after him. Ntumba was shot allegedly by police during student protests in Braamfontein last week. Students say he should be honored so his name is never forgotten. Newsroom Africa's Zikhona Tshona is in Braamfontein and joins us now. A very good afternoon to you, Zikhona. A very emotive and I guess a way of paying homage to not only Mthokosizi Ntumba but also the struggle of the youth. Give us a bit of an update as to what is happening on the ground this afternoon.
So the protest by Wits University students has just gotten underway. We are currently on De Beer Street, a street where Mthokosizi Ntumba took his last breath. Students are currently protesting through the streets of Braamfontein and also forcing businesses to close down because they say business can't be as usual. The country has to feel that there is a crisis in the higher education sector. I would like to turn to the president of the Wits SRC, who is leading this protest. Bendulo, why the late start?
We had to first unite the student formations. We cannot proceed with student formations in divided units. So we had to unite first, and we've come to terms by working together as we speak.
Just tell me something. The university does not seem to be budging, particularly when it comes to the scrapping of historical debt. Are you willing to compromise any of your demands?
We're going to shut down Braamfontein up until any demand and every demand we've made has been met.
What was dividing you as students?
It's petty squabbles, but some among us had their own interests, but we've since united. Thank you.
The president of the Wits University Student Representative Council, Mthokosizi, saying that the reason for the late start in their protest is due to the fact that they had differences as students, but they have now decided to unite and they are going to shut down Braamfontein. We've already seen some of the businesses here are currently shutting down. Students started off by blocking the Beer Drive, which they would now want to be called Ntumba Drive. They say to honor Mthokosizi Ntumba and make sure that he is remembered and the tragedy that took place there is always remembered.
If you could, Zikhona, just highlight once again what the objectives of today's march are. Where exactly are the students marching to today?
Students seem to be sticking to their word of shutting down Braamfontein, and they are currently marching through the streets of Braamfontein and shutting all businesses. Key to their demand is the registration of all university students, all TVET college students, to say that money should not be a hindrance to accessing higher education.
And the responses that they've gotten so far from the Department of Higher Education, what has been their reaction to those?
Well, students have said that they are not satisfied with the Minister of Education's solution to their problem. They're saying that he does not provide a tangible solution, particularly with regards to making sure that next year students don't find themselves protesting again for access to free education. They're saying they need a solution that will have make the access to higher education easier even for future generations. So what is currently happening is that students are shutting down businesses in Braamfontein and saying that things cannot go on as normal. Things cannot go on as though there is no education crisis in this country.
And as far as the intention to stage a national shutdown today, how successful is that?
A big hindrance to that is the fact that many students are not studying on campus. So people are studying online currently. So the numbers have been quite small in terms of the turnout at these protests, largely due to the COVID-19 pandemic that has forced people to not necessarily have to travel to Johannesburg to study. So the group that you see here are all the students that are participating in this protest. So students have been singing and uniting themselves in songs as they march through the streets of Braamfontein, blocking roads and as well as shutting down businesses, because they say simply cannot be that the country goes on as though there is no crisis that is facing the youth of this country. They say they want a tangible solution that will make sure that there is free access to institutions of higher learning, even for future generations. They're saying year in, year out, students have to take to the streets for the same issues. They have to take to the streets because there are problems with them being able to register. So they're saying they're tired of that. They want the Minister of Education, they want government to give them a solution that will make sure that they never have to take to the streets again.
As far as the presence of the Metro Police as well as SAPS, what is their visibility looking like this afternoon?
At the bottom there, I don't know if my colleague can help us see, there are currently Metro Police that have been positioned on that road that students had just blocked a short while ago, and also trying to redirect traffic. Because students are adamant that if they're blocking the road, no car can pass. But in terms of the South African Police Service, we haven't seen much of their presence at this protest. So students will continue to march through the streets of Braamfontein. They're saying they want to shut Braamfontein down.
Thank you very much, Zikhona. That's our Zikhona Tshona, who is on the streets of Braamfontein. They were on De Beers Street. One of the things that the students are calling for is they're wanting De Beers Street to be renamed to Ntumba Drive. That is the street where Mthokosizi Ntumba was killed.